Hey everybody, I'm CJ, and this is a thing that really did happen. Meet Starfire's gay goth daughter, Mandy, in I Am Not Starfire, a YA OGN. Uh, I mean, what the fuck? Just, I mean, look, this is an article, it's on Bleeding Cool, and frankly, there's a lot that we can go through here. All right. But going through this entire article, and particularly this announcement, this press release, whatever this is, going through this thing line by line, number one, not only does it seem unnecessary, but number two, it also seems kind of redundant. And I mean, just look at this. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a book by Mariko Tamaki, and this is Mariko Tamaki. Do you see any resemblances here? I mean, I'll give her credit. The eye color seems to be slightly different, but otherwise, wow, guys, what you need to understand about SJWs is the great majority of them were hired to basically be themselves. All right, they were hired because of who they are or because of what lifestyles or whatever they represent. Talent and merit have never had anything to do with it. And so as a result, most comic book creators would be kind of ashamed for getting called out on what is obvious, what's obviously a self-insert into any of their comics. They would be for most comic book creators that's nothing to brag about, you know. And it's in fact I would imagine that this is something that would be so embarrassing that most of them will go pretty far out of their way to avoid even the appearance of a self insert. And the reason for that is because they want to be taken seriously as creators. They want to be taken seriously um, as talent and for being creative. They would never resort to doing what is obviously a self insert because that's just not a creative thing to do. Any nitwit can insert himself into a Spider Man story or a Hulk story or something like that. You don't need to be talented in order to do that. You do need to be talented to write, just to pick a number, like the 1000th Superman story that there's ever been. You do need talent to write that story and make it entertaining. You don't need talent to basically be overweight, goth, and gay, and then write a story about a character who is overweight, goth, and gay for Starfire. All right, that takes no talent, that takes no creativity, no nothing. And so for that reason, most comic book creators would not be caught dead inserting themselves into their story because most comic book creators, or at least the ones worth talking about, got where they are based on talent. And I mean, this is just sad. And like the thing about it is, I don't know Mariko Tamaki. I've never met her. I have no reason to dislike her. But the thing is, if you were to ask her, my bet is that she would not see a problem with what she's doing here. You know, even if this is not a self-insert, even if this just legitimately is a coincidence, somebody came to her and said, "Hey, we want you to do a story about Starfire's daughter," and this is where her creativity naturally led her. The fact that most people are going to see this as a self-insert, it's like that doesn't bother her. Because, frankly, I don't think she got where she is based upon talent and merit. And so my guess is that she I mean, obviously she has no problem with the at least the appearance of a self-insert, but I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest to you that this actually is a it's not that this just looks like a self-insert. No, this really is a self-insert, and she does not see a problem with that. And in fact, if anything, I'm the asshole for not being impressed by somebody inserting themselves into a story. But this kind of speaks to a really gigantic divide between comic book fans and, one might say, authentically talented comic book creators as compared to these SJW creators who really only got hired based on who they are rather than because of the number of comics they might be able to sell or the ideas and creativity they might bring to the table. But anyway, there you have it. I'm CJ, and that's that. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed, comment, like, and share this video because it really helps me out. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Cole Loves Comics.